Hey, my friends, welcome back once again to Jack's Tech Corner and another photography video. I know I haven't produced many photography videos, but it is fall outside, and now we're going to start getting back into our photography editing of our summer pictures that I've taken over the summertime. And what I thought I would start with today is we just came back yesterday from a wonderful vacation, 7 days out in the Western Caribbean. We went to a couple cities in Mexico, and we got to go to Belize and a small island of Honduras, or a small island off of Honduras. So I thought I would take this time and show you some importing first, and then I'll be doing a series of videos on top of that we're going to be working to do some editing on these pictures that I've taken. Now, one thing I can tell you is I didn't take any time on the tour at all. I did take a laptop with me, but I didn't import anything from these videos, or I mean, from the memory card. So the memory card here is fresh, the camera. And a lot of people kind of get weirded out by that. And I used to do that too. And I did a lot of wedding photography you know, will the picture stay on the memory card going through scanners at the airports, going through scanners on and off of a cruise ship? That's what we were on. And, how will they turn out? So I hope it's going to work out. And this is kind of my first shot here. So as you can see here, let's minimize me down here. And as you can see here, we have Lightroom open. This is, again, Lightroom 5 that we're going to be importing these into. I have a folder on here already called Trips. That's our Hawaii trip from last year. So we're going to import our memory, or put our memory card into the computer and just stick it in there. And if everything works out right, we should be able to get the import wizard to come up here and start working on these pictures. So here's the import window that we are going to be using to import all my photos in. And it looks like the photos are coming up. If you noticed right away here, this little NEF on the extension here, this is a Nikon D7000 camera I was using. And that's not right. It's my Nikon D600 that I took on this trip. But the NEF at the end here, the extension, is that I shot all these pictures in RAW. And you know that I am either a RAW photographer or a JPEG photographer. But I was thinking on this trip, I said, well, I'm going to shoot these in RAW format because it allows me to do a lot more editing as far as a light, exposure settings on these actual pictures. So that's why I wanted to shoot these in RAW and not JPEG. Just because I knew that I'd be bringing them back to share with you and to share some editing experiences with these photos. So we are going to put in our pictures folder here. I don't know if I have a vacation folder under that. I don't. So we're going to import into a subfolder, and we're going to call this Cruise 2015. And we're going to go ahead and import all these photos. And I also did some video clips. So the video clips will also be imported into Lightroom, where I can look at those. But I'll take those video clips later, and I'll show you some Final Cut. I like Final Cut Pro to edit my videos. Once again, you probably know anyway that I do use a Mac. This is a 27-inch iMac that I run this equipment on. So we can go ahead down here and click on Import and get these pictures to start importing into our Lightroom, into that folder I created called, Cruise. And once we get these imported, we'll catalog these photos. The first pictures you're seeing there coming up is the hotel that we stayed at the night before the cruise. We stayed at a hotel, and the morning before we were leaving, I took the camera and I thought it'd be really cool to get some early morning shots. Now let's talk about that. So the early morning shots you're going to get, the first basic idea of early morning shots. Don't forget your basic principles of photography, which I do, and you guys know, and I tell you all the time that nobody's perfect. There's no perfect photographer out there. There's really good photographers. There's probably even expert photographers. But at times your camera's set up a certain way, and you go to take a picture, and these early morning shots, the shutter was staying open incredibly long. And as it was staying open incredibly long, I started looking at it. I said, why is it staying open so long? Well, I realized that when you shoot at ISO 100, obviously, You're trying to get a fast shutter speed, or a slow shutter speed, either case may be. Or you're shooting in aperture priority mode, which I was shooting most of this in aperture priority mode. The shutter stays open longer because it's trying to capture as much light as possible. So I sat back on one of the chairs and I said, "Wait a minute, Jack. Let's rethink your basic photography skills. Go back and reevaluate these photos. And what am I doing wrong?" So then I bumped my ISO up to. You can see on some of these here, if you can see this coming in correctly, I bumped it up to ISO 1000. And once I bumped that up to ISO 1000, a lot of people out there are going to say, "Oh no, wait. You're going to get a lot of noise involved with that." And if you do, you can use noise reduction on either Elements, or you can also use noise reduction in Lightroom, and you can clean that up anyway pretty well. So don't let that bother you, and especially with the Nikon D600, the full frame camera, I find it to be very, very good, even at very high ISO settings. I don't get a lot of noise. But if you use on point and shoot, that's okay, because if you get the noise in there, you can always clean that noise up and make it a really nice photograph. So I did bump it up to ISO 1000, and we'll see what we got there, because when I did that, I also wanted to take my shutter speed and increase that because I didn't want a lot of ambient light. I wanted to capture the lighting around the pool area. I wanted to capture the lighting around this little water sprouting thing I found. So that's why I kind of judged the camera that way. Do I shoot everything on manual mode? Of course not. I don't believe in shooting everything on manual mode. Some photographers say if you don't shoot manual, you're not a photographer. That's not the case, folks. That's not true at all. I've been teaching photography and editing for several years now, and I've been photographing weddings, senior pictures, landscapes, and I find a lot of the actual canned settings, or these settings on the camera, will do a lot of work for you. I paid a lot of money for my camera. I want the camera to do some of the thinking for me. And people say, "Jack, you're going to lose your creativity if you don't shoot manual," and I don't find that to be the case either. Because if I'm shooting in aperture priority mode, let's say with a 50 millimeter 1.8 lens or 1.4 lens, I know that I can get that aperture set down to f1.4. I can have a small focal point. I can blow out my backgrounds, and the camera does a lot of that work for you. Where if you're using manual mode, you have to figure out the aperture setting, and then you're going to figure out your shutter speed to adjust for the lighting. And, yes, you can get some very creative shots, but you don't need to worry about that. So as these pictures are going to be imported here, I'm going to just pause here for a second, and then I'll come back and show you real quick in Lightroom how to set up a catalog just to better be able to find our pictures later when we go to edit all this stuff and work with these pictures in Elements. We're going to be using Elements 13 to do all my editing, and I'll be back with you then. So it's going to take a little bit of time because I got a little bit of HD video clips in there that I took with my camera. I find that to be very beneficial to these cameras nowadays, that you can flick it into video mode, maybe take a few video clips, and then I'll show you in Lightroom later on. We'll take Lightroom later on, and we'll edit these clips together, maybe make a little presentation video about my cruise and some of the little videos that I took. So, okay, so I'll be right back with you as soon as this is done importing. Okay, folks, so we're back here. We have everything imported into Lightroom, all the video clips and all the photographs. What we're going to do now is go up to Edit and make sure we select everything. So select all, everything's selected, and we're going to put all these into an album, okay, or into a catalog or a group. And all these are going to be listed that way so we can find them very easily. That's very important. So go under Library, and we're going to make a new collection. So a collection is just that. It's just an album. So new collection. And it's going to say inside of what collection set. Well, I know I have a collection set called Trips. And that's where I like to keep all the different trips that I go on. And we're going to simply call this Cruise 2015. That way I know right away when I look over in my collections for the name Cruise 2015, that's my cruise pictures. Include selected photos, make new virtual copies. We don't want to make virtual copies of everything. And set as target collection, you don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and click on Create. And now you'll notice that under trips, we now have the Hawaii trip. That was last year's vacation. And the Cruise 2015. Now, everything is in here that I want to have in here. The video clips are marked that way. They're marked at MOV for videos. There's a video clip here. And you can actually click on those, and it will actually start to play it out there. Double click it, open up in a bigger viewer there. And you can actually view your video clips right in Lightroom. So it makes it very easy just to import everything in there. And, be able to import everything into Lightroom. This is just one of those video clips. I was taking pictures, so I'll take a little bit of video clips of this. The ocean here is where I'm sailing across the ocean. So I thought it would be pretty cool to have. Again, we'll play with more of those when we get back to Lightroom itself. We'll go back to all the photos here. When we get back into Final Cut, I'll show you how to import all those into Final Cut, and we'll do that later. So first of all, I just wanted to show you the import. Thanks, and welcome back to Jack's Tech Corner. I know it's been a little hiatus over the summer, and that's usually the way I do things around here with my videos. Is I tend to do more in the fall, than I do in the spring and summer, because there's a lot of activities to do outside. So thanks for watching, and catch my next video here. I'll be bringing a series of videos out now as I go through and edit these pictures. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here very soon on Jack's Tech Corner. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Jack's Tech Corner. Search for that Facebook name and join our little group there and share your work. I'll talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.